tarot. Something that started as a simple gambling game. Can you believe it? And look at what it is today. So, are any of the stories true? Are these things opening the gates to evil or not? Let's get into some stories so you can decide whether or not any of it's true. This is Screams for You, and I'm V. So turn down those lights and lock those doors. Here's a scream you can't ignore. What really gave tarot a bad name is the Hermetic Order of Dawn, because they would use them in rituals that they would do, and they were on the occult side. It was reported that Aleister Crowley was a part of this Hermetic order until he got kicked out. So I mean, that tells you what kind of person they are. And so maybe I don't really know a lot about those. I deep dive into the tarot, and it's can't be a 6-hour show, so I can't get into the history of everybody. But I mean, I do know that Aleister Crowley was a really bad guy. He believed in a lot of Satanism stuff, and he was a big scammer and womanizer, things like that. Now, when it comes to the Hermetic Order of the Dawn, I know they performed a lot of rituals, and I didn't really get into like the good and the bad that they did, because we have better stories to tell, I think. So, this one is really fun. The cards were banned in Bolognese because of the depictions of the Pope. So it was like a political game. I guess they would put little like cartoons and stuff on them, like a political newspaper, and that is pretty much how things got around. So they became banned from him. So it's pretty silly. Oh, this is crazy too, and they couldn't figure this out. So way back in the day, a plague doctor would take the tarot cards into the houses with him, and he would read their cards. And after he would leave, everybody in the family or everybody in that house that was with him at the time, well, they got sick from the plague. So the cards were thought to be evil. I mean, maybe the plague was probably on the cards, and this doctor was just carrying them from house to house, spreading the plague. So can you believe that? That's crazy. Yep. Okay, yeah, and his name was Dr. Sullivan. The Hellfire Club. So the Hellfire Club was a rich club made of course, a rich club. All clubs are for the rich. I've never heard anybody say, well, I guess the corner bar is where us poor people club. I don't know. So I've never heard anybody in my life be like, hey, let's go down to the club. Unless it's like an actual, club. Anyways. The Hellfire Club was made up of a bunch of aristocrats, and they like to do a lot of drinking and partying, womanizing, which seems to be a thing amongst all these clubs. And it is said that there was one proven murder in this club. And there was said to be many others. But the biggest story about this was that they would perform tarot rituals all the time. And one night, all the town heard these rituals being performed, and then they heard a bunch of screams. And they go down the next day, and they find tons of members dead with tarot cards spread all around them. Now, is this true or just a legend? I mean, my guess would be just a legend, but you never really know. If somebody's going around murdering somebody in the club, more than likely one of them murdered all those people while they were doing a tarot ritual. But I guess you never really know. And this one is a really bad one. Mark Kilroy. So Mark Kilroy was a teenager who went on spring break down in Mexico. And he was kidnapped and murdered. And when they caught the guy who did this, and his name, oh my gosh, I can't remember. But this man had killed 14 other people as a sacrifice. And he did horrible things. He took off his head and boiled his brain in a pot. And I guess he did a lot of this. So it was like a whole ritual thing so they wouldn't get caught up and caught, because he was into drugs, into, trafficking, and they, really bad shit. So, I mean, that's how it goes. And it is said that how he picked his victims was through the tarot cards. And we got this one is actually a nice one. It's surprising. A man confesses to murder, and he is really super into tarot, right? It's like his life. He does it all the time. And he goes in and confesses. And then he says the reason why he confesses is because he did a tarot reading, and it told him that his guilt would consume him completely if he didn't go in right away and confess. So that's what he did, and then he got sent to prison for murder. So I guess that's kind of a good story, right? And what about tarot in today's culture? Well, I couldn't find any documented stories. I did find there's a lot of TikToks. There's very many religions. I see lots of card readings all over YouTube. And it seems to have mixed feelings, like a lot of things today that come from centuries ago, that we ourselves have grown to mean something magical that may not have been magical at all. There are rumors that the tarot has been around since the Egyptians, but there's no proof. As far as everybody knows, it's probably just rumors. But it's that mystic belief that people built their beliefs on and made the magic themselves. Or is it really evil? Can it tell you the future? I don't know. How about you let me know? Have you ever had a tarot card reading? And if you would like to see the outcome of this general reading, I will share the link below when I do that. Until then, join me on our next episode when we learn about Ouija boards. So, have a creepy night.